everyone, welcome back to my channel. It has been a little bit since I've filmed and I'm feeling it. I can tell that I haven't been filming because I feel kind of weird about filming, but I've been behind on my schedule, but I'm catching up today. Today is the day that we catch up. So today we will be updating my Pan Those Eyeshadow Palette series. I am filming this a little differently. I am filming it with my front-facing camera because it's a lot easier with my setup currently. I can just see, yes, it is filming. We're good. It looks okay in the frame. So that's what we're doing for today. It is not as nice as normal, but it is definitely nice for me because I can see that it is recording well. This is the 6th update. So if you haven't watched any of these videos before, I have the playlist linked down below for you to catch up. Now, this is a hybrid project between Pan Those Eyeshadows and Pan That Palette. I have the creators of both of those projects linked down below as always. And as they're my two favorite projects, I wanted to combine them together and create my own sort of project where I'm working through my palettes, trying to empty them out and hit pan on shades, using a quintet of 5 shades at a time. Now, a couple months ago, I did add in the twist of working through my single shadows alongside my quintet. So I do have that still going on. So technically I'm working on more than 5 shades at a time right now, but that's a side thing. We will talk about that as we get into it. But yeah, I will show you my quintet from last time because last month I dropped a shade to just take it down to 4 shades just for the time being as I was working to finish up my 2 Lorac shades. So my quintet was from my Glambition palette, the shade Known For, from my NARS Atomic Blonde palette, the shade Kink, and then from my Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, the shades Twilight and Eden. Now I may have switched the order of Twilight and Eden. Eden is the pink one and Twilight is the purpley one. I can't remember which order I had them swatched on my hand, but one of those two. So we will go ahead and jump into the update with my Glambition palette. I will show you what it was looking like last month. And this is what it's looking like this month. So there is some pretty noticeable difference within this palette. I had decluttered this shade right here. This was the black shade in the palette. And I had decluttered that one a long time ago before when I started the project. So that one was already gone. But I just finished up the shade She Was this last month. So that's very exciting. I got a shade emptied. Obviously, the shade Known For is the shade from my quintet, like I said. But I just wanted to mention that. That's really, really exciting. I got a shade used up and I never even rolled it into the quintet. So I actually do kind of miss it. I really liked that shade a lot. It was a really great inner quarter highlight for me. So I used it pretty much every single day and got it used up. So that was really nice. I did use it a total of 89 times within the tracker. I have been messing up recently, so I think it was actually more than that. I haven't been on my normal schedule with having moved to Alaska for the summer, so I definitely have been off with remembering to count my usage on everything. I've not been very good at that, so all my numbers could be off a little bit, but I'm just going to give you what I have, and I'm going to try to be better about it in the future. But yeah, it took me approximately 89 uses to finish up She Was, and I did start with Pan on that shade. But I am working on Known For within the quintet. I used it a total of 18 times this last month, which puts it at a total of 42 uses within the project. So that is getting some good usage. I feel like when you look in the picture, you can see some movement on it. It's nothing that's moving too crazy fast because it's just one of those shades that you're going to apply it with your finger. So it's not going to kick up as much as if you were to use a brush for it. So it is slow but steady progress. I am only 8 uses away from hitting my 50 use threshold before rolling it out. So I will consider doing that. I'm so close on all of these shades, honestly. Like I'm feeling really good about my progress on all of them that I may just leave it in because let's just talk about the progress on everything else. Infamous and Seeking here, I am really, really close with both of them. Like I'll show you here. You can see there's still a decent amount with both of them, but I definitely think in the next 2 months, I can probably have them used up. I don't know about that for sure, but I know I'm using them every single day and neither one of them is going to take me to the end of the year. So I'm definitely going to be able to get them used up fairly soon as I continue to use them. But there's no reason for me to roll them in because I'm just going to keep using them the way that I've been using them. They both have approximately 150 uses on them within the project, so they're going strong. I have a feeling another 50 or so uses before they're actually gone. Again, I'm using them every day. I don't mind using them every day. It may even be more. It may be more than 50 uses. I don't know. Thinking about that, that's only a month and a half. It may be more like 60 to 80 uses, maybe even to 100. I don't know. Eyeshadow always tends to surprise me with how much or how little usage it needs to be finished. So I don't know, but we're moving along well with those. And then with the shade the most, you know, it's pretty flattened out. There's a really good divot in there, but it's going to be the same thing as Known For. I just need to continue to use them, and slowly but surely that progress will show. And I'd kind of rather just focus in on Known For and get it used up since I'm already focusing on it, rather than like going back and forth focusing on both of them. It would almost be nicer just to go ahead and focus in and get that one done rather than splitting my use. But the most does have 22 uses within this project, so it's not a ton. I do use it occasionally just for the fun of it because I do like the shade a lot. But yeah, I don't think there's any reason for me to roll out Known For just to roll that shade in, because I would end up rolling that shade in. Most likely. Either that or it would be Over the Top. Now, Over the Top, I could see rolling in for some usage because I did get pan on it, but not very much pan. And if I really want to empty this, I will have to start focusing in on that shade more. However, I've been working on another shade, so we've been kind of giving this guy a minute. So yeah, that is kind of the overview of this palette. I got a shade finished. I feel like I'm really, really close with these two shades, and I'm just really happy with the progress overall. Next up is my Atomic Blonde palette. I do have my highlighter shade in here from my regular project pans. So if you don't want the spoiler for that, I'm gonna cover it for a little bit, but I don't know, I might just show it because I think most people probably won't care too much. But I will show you what it was looking like last month. And here are the shades this month. There's not a ton of difference right now in this palette. It is one of those palettes where it's just like the shades are so hard packed that it's really difficult to see any change quickly. So the shade I have is the shade Kink, which is this shade right here. I only used it once this last month because I was so focused on getting my Lorac shades done, and then we were moving, so I wasn't really looking to do unique looks every day, but I only used it one time and it put me at a total of 18 uses within the project. So I'm not doing so hot on that one, but that's okay. Like, I don't mind having it in because I really do enjoy it. I use it every now and then if I think about it or if I want to, but I am just looking to hit pan on it for right now so that we can get pan on all these shades. That's another reason that I may not focus in on Over the Top anytime too soon, because I do want to get this Galapagos shade done and I want to hit pan on it. And I know that I won't be able to if I'm focusing on Over the Top because they're basically the same thing. This one just has a little shimmer running through it. But yeah, I haven't really been using this palette very much actually. I really love it still, but I've been so focused on getting some of my other shades used up that I haven't really been using this palette. But I will give you the numbers just in case they've changed for each shade. Icon, I've used a total of 33 times. Isolde 2, I've used a total of 47 times. Kink, I've used a total of 18 times, like I said. And then Galapagos, I've only used twice. So there's not much progress in here at all. There's not really anything changing with it right now, but soon I'm hoping to actually make some good progress with it as I finish up these other goals that I've been focusing in on. All right, on to my Huda Beauty palette. This is the Desert Dusk palette. I will show you what it was looking like last month. And here is what it's looking like this month. Now, there's not a whole lot of difference in here. I do think that this last month I did end up finishing up Desert Sand. I don't think I had finished that up last time. So this is empty, which is nice. But the two shades in my quintet are Eden and Twilight. And there's not a lot of difference in those shades. Well, there's not a lot of difference in Twilight. I didn't use Twilight once. I don't know why. I think I was just so focused on my other shades and the other things that I was trying to do that I didn't touch it. I literally didn't touch it once, but I do want to hit my 50 use threshold on it before I would roll it out. So I'm only at 28 uses within the project right now. So I still have a decent amount to go. I think 22 uses to go on it. So I do want to try to get it used up. Well, first of all, I do want to get it used up. That is the ultimate goal, but I want to hit the 50 use threshold before rolling it out. So 22 more uses are needed before I can roll it out. I don't see me doing that in a month. Technically, yes, I could, because I am that kind of a person where I could just say, hey, no, I'm going to use that every single day, but I don't want to do that. So I will probably try to use it 11 times next month, and then use it 11 times the following month to try to get it used up. But we're not gonna push. We're not gonna push it, because I do enjoy the shade and I don't necessarily wanna just plow through it and use it all up as fast as possible. I don't know that 22 shades is gonna get it emptied. I kind of doubt that, but I don't wanna push myself farther than I have to use it. But I do wanna get it to the 50 use threshold, so we're gonna work on that. As far as Eden goes, I used Eden 27 times this last month. And you can see there's not like, you're not seeing any kind of pan or anything in there, but there is a good dip. There is a really good dip in it. Now with Eden, I did hit exactly 50 uses on it this last month. Well, approximately. Again, I don't know if my numbers are exactly right, but I did hit 50 uses. I have 50 uses marked within my tracker, so I know I've used this 50 times. And as we don't have pan, I could keep it in because I feel like I'm kind of close to pan, but I decided I'm going to do something a little bit silly with this, and I am going to roll it out of this project, and then I'm going to roll it into a different project. But I have been using it as my blush pretty much exclusively. Like, I have it on today, just this. I was using it with my NARS blush, but now I've just been using it like this, and I really am liking it. So I am gonna try to hit pan in this in another project, and I'm gonna just roll it out for now, because I do want to actually use some other shades from this palette. So we are gonna roll that shade out, and we are going to roll a third shade from this palette in again. That is where we're currently at with this. I'm not gonna go over the exact numbers for everything with this because I haven't used it like at all aside from Eden. Like, I've literally only been using Eden this last month. So that's another reason I kind of want to roll it out, is I want to get focusing on some other shades as well. But yeah, that's the update on this. There's really not a whole lot to talk about with it. Like I've mentioned in the past, there are certain shades that I don't even have as options to roll in anymore. I'll go ahead and remind you of what those are just so you kind of know. I won't be rolling in Blood Moon, Amethyst, Royal, Turkish Delight, Saffron, or Blazing. Those are the shades that I don't have any interest in even hitting pan in. If I hit pan in them, cool, but if I don't care. The rest of them, I actually do want to hit pan / empty them. So that's my focus. Like, the other shades, I'm not worried about rolling in. So those ones won't even be as an option to roll in. Everything else I can consider rolling in. So last month I rolled in my 2 Lorac palettes. I was working on these last year to empty them up, and I wanted to go ahead. I only had one shade in each left that I really cared about emptying. So I wanted to go ahead and focus on them to try to empty them out. We will start with the Lorac Pro 2 palette. I was working on the shade of Mocha in here, and I have finished it up. It is gone. I don't know how well you can see. There is a little bit of staining in there, so it's not super great to, like, you can't tell perfectly that it's empty, but it is empty. I am going to clean this guy up. I'm going to declutter the black. I don't need it, so I'm just going to declutter it. I did hit pan on it. I'm very proud of myself for that, and then I'm going to call this guy completely finished, which is very exciting. So this was my oldest palette in my collection, and I'm super glad to have gotten so much use on it and to finally be able to roll it out. I did forget to mention I only had to use Mocha 17 times before I got it finished up. So 17 times and it was done. I really loved using it while I had it, but I'm glad to have it gone. And then on to the Pro Matte palette. Again, I only had one shade in here that I cared about finishing up. I do still have burgundy in here, but I'm not gonna worry about it. This palette was not performing super well, especially the dark shades. So I'm not gonna worry about forcing myself to use that one up. But Corduroy is the shade I am working on, and you can see there is that tiniest little bit still in there. I am using it almost every single day. I did use it 26 times this last month, so I'm very close to using it, but I just use the smallest amount each time. I just put it in my outer corner pretty much every time I do my eye looks, and obviously that's not using a ton of product. So I do still have, I would say, at least a week's worth of product left in there. So I will be using that up soon. That's part of the reason I'm gonna go ahead and roll a third shade in from my Desert Dusk palette. I don't wanna just leave this one as the only shade that's sitting there. I hadn't rolled in a third shade because I wanted to focus on this and my Pro 2 palette. But now that this one's basically gone and Mocha is gone, I'm not gonna hold back anymore. I'm just gonna finish this one up real fast, go back to my quintet, and we'll be back to normal on that. And then the final thing to update you on, I feel like this is a lot of things to update you on, but the final thing to update you on is my single shadows. Now, the thing with my single shadows, I have them in the project. I roll them in randomly. I just pick 1 to 2 shades a month, depending on the shades that I roll in. And I am working to use them 2 to 5 times-ish. Basically just enough times to know if I want to keep them or if I want to declutter them. If I decide I want to keep them, great, I'm going to have to use them up soon. If I decide I want to declutter them, I can just toss them. So this last month I rolled 2 shades in just to focus on 2 shades at a time. The first one was it was my Lorac Frankenshadow. I had used a lot of those Lorac shades and created a Frankenshadow out of them, and I really liked it when I did that, but it has crumbled, so I can't really show you super well. It's in this little MAC pot here, but it is super crumbly. But I did use this one. I actually used it twice, and I've decided I am going to keep it. I thought I would declutter this one, but I actually really like it. I need to repress it because it's a mess. It's a real mess, but I do really like it, and I really enjoy the different ways I can wear it. It's very subtle, very pretty. It's got like a nice purpley taupe tone to it. So I do like it and I want to keep it. I'm going to put it back in my singles collection to use up when it's time to actually move forward and finish up my singles. And then the other shade was from my Magnetic palette. I depotted a eyeshadow palette that I had in the past, and it is the shade Empowering that I rolled in, and this is what it looks like. I actually really like this one. It's very pretty and very nice, and the shade is really, like, the formula is really buttery. So I do really like the shade. I only used it one time, but that was honestly all I needed to decide that I did love it. So I decided I'm gonna keep this one too. It was a 2 for 2 kind of month where I'm gonna keep them both. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my singles currently. I'm gonna roll at least 1 more shade in, maybe 2, just depending on what ones I get and what my quintet looks like. But we're gonna go ahead and move into that portion of this video. Okay, in my Huda Beauty palette, I have the shades 5 through 10 that are available to be rolled in. So I'm gonna go ahead and generate one of those numbers. 7, I'm gonna generate a second for a second shade. And 5. Oh, I just realized something. 7 and 5 are Musk and Oud, the 2 brown shades. I don't know how to feel about that, because if I roll Musk in, then I have to stop using Seeking and Infamous. And if I roll Oud in, I have to wait to use it until I finish Corduroy. But also, that's what's rolled in. And I don't have very many options in here. Oh. You know what? Corduroy is almost done. It's going to take me like another week. So I am going to leave Oud in here. There's no reason for me not to focus on that. I am going to leave that one in here. And I'm just going to suck it up, and I'm going to use Musk 50 times. The Glambition palette can wait. I will use this one, and we'll return to those shades when this one has hit 50 uses. There's no way I'm going to finish this one up in 50 uses. I know with how long it took me to get Desert Sand used up, there's no chance. So I'm not going to worry about saying that it's going to get used up. I'm going to use it 50 times, see where we get to, and then I will return to Seeking and Infamous. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit disappointing for me, just because I was kind of hoping to go with like Cashmere or Retrograde or Celestial. That would have been fun. Those shades would have been fun, but Unfortunately, that's not what we're doing, but that's okay because actually it's really good. I want to get pan on oud. I don't know that I care to finish it up because brown shades are so hard to finish up, but I definitely want to get pan on it, so that shouldn't be too hard. And then musk, I do want to finish up eventually, so it'll be good to get some usage on it, and it will give me more use on the palette in general, so that's okay. I just need to get over the fact that I was really excited about finishing Infamous and Seeking, but I will still finish them. I think I'll still finish them by the end of the year because this I'm going to hit 50 uses on within 2 months, so it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, and then for my single shadows, I have the shades 1 through 16. Those are my options. So I'm going to generate one number, see what we get, and then I'll generate another one. 11. So 11 is also from my magnetic palette, and that is from that same palette that I depotted. And this is the shade Sexy. It is a gray tone. I honestly don't know how well this is going to go with the stuff that I currently have in my quintet. So this one will probably be a little difficult for me to use, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to get at least 2 uses on it, see what I think, try to get it to 5 uses. We'll see. Again, I don't know that it'll blend really well with the other shades, so this one will be a little bit more difficult to use. I am going to go ahead and roll in another shade just to give me a little something else to dip into occasionally if I want to. All right, here it is again. Shade 4. So this one is actually a loose pigment. This is the shade Desert Sand from Naked Cosmetics. It is a loose shadow. You can kind of see the color here. It's just a very simple, neutral kind of pinky tone, pink beige. I don't know, but it is very pretty. I do actually really like it. I'm not a huge fan of loose formulas, but I do really like the way this shade looks. So I'm gonna give it some use, see what it looks like. Actually, it might work kind of cool with the gray shade. I don't know, we might have to try that. But I'm gonna swatch all these shades so you can see what they're looking like. I'll put my quintet on one hand and then the singles on another hand, and we'll look at our shades for the month of July. Okay, so here are our shades for the next month. Here's the quintet, we'll start here. So we've got the shade Known For from the Glambition palette, the shade Kink from the Atomic Blonde palette. Then from the Desert Dusk palette, we have Oud, which replaced Eden. Twilight is still in here. And then we have the shade Musk. So they all actually look pretty cool together. The only shade that's really different is Twilight. It's got that purpley pink shift to it, so it's a little bit different, but it does work really well actually with Musk and Oud. I've used it with those before and it looks really beautiful, so I'll definitely be able to use it very easily. Again, I want to use it 11 times this next month, trying to get myself closer to the 50 use threshold on it. And then with the other shades, I'm just going to keep moving. I'm just going to keep going as I go. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through them, but we're just gonna go. I'm gonna try to hit pan on Oud as fast as possible. I don't know how fast that's gonna go because I am still working on corduroy, which I haven't swatched corduroy because it's just so small that there's no way I'm gonna get enough product well to swatch it. So I'm not gonna worry about that one. But yeah, and then Musk I'm just gonna use every day. So there you go. And then for my single shades, you can see I actually had trouble building up this shade here, the gray shade. I think it's Sexy is what it's called, which don't know that I would call that sexy, but that's okay. This is the gray shade. So I don't know. Again, I had trouble building it up, so I don't know how well that's going to work. And then the other shade is Desert Sunset, and that's that loose pigment. And you can see, it's got that pinky kind of champagne shift to it. It's really pretty. It looks really nice, but yeah, I don't know. I think these together, Desert Sunset, I shouldn't have any problem using, but the gray shade is going to be a little more difficult. So that's it. That's all. I finally did it. I finally filmed this video, which has been a long time coming. Sorry for the delay on it, but hopefully I will be back on schedule now. I don't have any pictures, maybe a couple pictures from this last month of my eye looks. I typically try to have them, but I didn't do very well with moving and everything. And then I was also just doing the one look that I did in my Get Ready With Me for so many days, for 17 days. out of the month, I was doing that so that I could get Mocha used up. So yeah, I really didn't do that many different eye looks this last month. If I have any, I will have them on the end here, along with all the overall progress of the palettes for the year. And yeah, that is everything I've got for this update. I will be still, I left my empties back home in Tennessee and I forgot to take pictures of them before I left. So I am having my mom send me pictures of them. And then I will actually get the second quarter update to you of my empties and purchases. So that will actually be coming still. It's just going to take me a little bit longer, but we will get there. We will, I promise. But that is all. That is all. That's the end of this video. I hope you are having a wonderful day wherever you are. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.